In this video, we are going to look at 3 traits of toxic friends. 3 traits of toxic friends or unhealthy friendships. Hello, my name is Winnie the Bunny. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning. If you haven't, and you are watching this video for the very first time, welcome. I'm so privileged and blessed and grateful to connect with you and to share insights and learnings that I have gained through life and through my research with you. As I shared before, my name is Winnie the Bunny, and I am really obsessed with, well, I think I shared my name before, but if I haven't shared my name is Winnie the Bunny, and I am really obsessed with self-development, and I'm really obsessed with business. And my intent with these videos is to not only document my life and document my learnings and my growth over the years. My primary intent is to share what I know with you, with the world, in the hopes that it will better your life, the quality of your life, the depth of your life, and also the width of your life as well. So if there's anything that you would like me to talk about, please put it in the comments below, and I would love to create a video around that too. Now, today's video is about 3 traits to look out for in toxic friends. Now, what we need to know before we dive into those 3 traits is that sometimes friendships can be under the guise of a friendship that is all about that person caring for you. And it can be all about connection and maybe even purpose as well. And the reality is that's not always people's intent, and that's not always a reality of what a friendship actually is. We can assume that we're connecting with an individual. We can assume that maybe that friendship is adding meaning and purpose into our lives and vice versa. And we can assume that that person genuinely cares about us, that the intent is to enrich our life and to add value. And the reality is that's not always the case. Now, I know I don't look like that old. And I promise you, however old you think I am, probably add 10 to 20 years on top of that. Because that's how old I am. And I also know for those that are much older than me, I've got a lot of learning and growing to do still. That said, I am a deep, deep observer of the human condition, of the human existence. I think in another life, I was an anthropologist. And I'm constantly studying my own life as well as looking out at the world around me and looking how people interact and connect with others, and also how they don't interact and connect with each other as well. So it's really important to know that even if you do have friendships in your life, I think it's a really wise thing to do, which is to study the friendships in your life and ask yourself, are they healthy? Are we adding value and meaning and connection and purpose to each other's lives in a very genuine and real and intent way? That said, things happen in friendships. Things go up and down. And it doesn't mean that we have to end the friendship. It means that we need to have a conversation about it. That said, if a person is not willing to have a conversation about it and or to own their part to play in the dysfunction, then that is not a healthy friendship to be in. That's probably a toxic person, and we do need to then delete them out of our lives. So that's what I wanted to start off today, is really the intent with these videos and these series is to really look and examine at the friendships that are in your life and to ask yourself this question. What I am seeing in this friendship, is it healthy? Do they have the ability and skill to have a healthy friendship with me? But also, do I have the skill and ability to have a healthy friendship with them? Sometimes you could have 2 people that have the best of intent and simply do not work well together. And that's okay. And it's okay to go your separate ways. Like the popular saying goes, friendships can be for a season or a reason. I think there's a third thing too, but that's the only 2 things that came to mind right now. For a reason and a season. And sometimes if we're lucky, they can be for a lifetime. People that come into our life, they come into our life and our life is sacred. And so we need to be very, very discerning about who we allow into our life and how much room and space they take. I would say that the more room and space you give to people and you allow people to take in your life, they've earned that. They've had to earn that. And the two things that they would have earned to then earn the right to take up time and space in my life is they need to earn my trust and my respect. If they don't have that, I keep them at arm's length. Okay? Once they earn that and they demonstrate that through their actions, and particularly the real tester is how they manage and facilitate difficulty between the two of us, that will ultimately determine if that person has earned my trust and my respect and therefore take up space in my life. If they haven't, no. I think too much of the time, because we live in an era where even though we have social media, people feel really, really, really lonely. And when we feel lonely, we gravitate towards people. Sometimes we even grab on and hold on to people. And well, I don't know about you, but I'd rather be on my own than be in a friendship with someone that was not healthy for me in terms of how they show up in the friendship, and someone that created a lot of dysfunctional, brought drama into my life, and particularly someone that does not have my best interests at heart and that just emotionally, spiritually just shits all over you. And know that people don't always do that in a direct way. They probably do that in a really indirect way, in a really, really subtle way. So we need to get smarter and smarter and smarter about picking these things out. So the first trait is that someone might reach out to you and say, oh, I haven't heard from you in a while. Well, babe, let me tell you, you haven't reached out to me in a while. Okay. Second of all, I didn't know that we had to text each other every fucking day. What are the expectations for the friendship? This is someone that is placing blame on you. Now, if their expectation is that you keep in contact and regular contact every single day, that's on them. That's on them. We are grown ass adults with our adult panties on. It is our responsibility to communicate our expectations of how a friendship looks like, practically as well. If the expectation is that we stay in contact and message each other every day or every 2-3 days, then do that. But do not put your shitty shit on me by telling me that, oh, I haven't heard from you in a while. Well, like I said before, babe, I haven't heard from you in a while. Okay. So sometimes people play these games where they wait for you to reach out to them, when the reality is it was probably like their turn. If we're looking at like, I pass the ball to you, you pass the ball to me. I'm just thinking of a couple of friendships, in the past for me where I have messaged someone. They haven't even read that message, because I can tell when they've read that message on my phone. They haven't even read that message. They've read that message, a couple of days have passed, and then they have the audacity to say to me, I haven't heard from you in a while. I was waiting on you to reply. So call that shit out. I messaged you. You didn't even reply to that. And even if that message didn't ask for or warrant a reply, well, it's not like you messaged me. Like, why should I be the one that's always initiating? So sometimes it's a really good opportunity to talk about our expectations of how we desire each other to show up in the friendship. And if that expectations aren't aligned, then maybe the best thing to do is for the both of you to go your separate ways. Because one of the worst things that can ever happen in relationships, full stop, is when people have different expectations of each other and we fail to live up to those expectations, because our expectations are different too. So be wary of a text message, maybe even a phone call, or someone might say to you face to face, I haven't heard from you for a while. What's been going on? Rather than, I am so sorry I haven't reached out to you. It's been a while. How are you? Someone that takes ownership and responsibility. Where is that in the world? Seriously, people have forgotten about that. Just keep dumping their shitty shit on other people. No, you have responsibility to also reach out to me. And yes, it shouldn't be, the onus should not be on just the one person to always do the reaching out. It should be 50-50. If we look at equality and equity, it should be 50-50. And if you're wondering why you haven't heard from someone in a while, have you reached out to them? If the answer is no, zip it and instead be a grown-ass adult and apologize why you haven't reached out to them. The second one is someone that I'm just reading my notes because my notes like do not make sense because I wrote it in my handwriting. Is, well, this is a bit awkward, but that's okay. We are an imperfect person. So we're giving ourselves permission to not cut this out, to still post this video and post this bit, not cut it out. That's my thinking in my brain right now, my thinking in my brain. So the second trait is that is someone that says that they are hurt and offended and does not do anything about that. So when people are hurt and offended, we do have a habit in society where we can kind of keep that to ourselves. And sometimes when we do bring that to the attention of others, we are also not doing anything about it ourselves as well. On the flip side, you may tell your friend that you were hurt and offended by something that they did. And if they are not taking immediate action to rectify that and also taking action the next day to show up and be and do better, delete that friend. Okay, delete that friend. So that is the other that is the second trait to look out for, is someone who, if they are hurt and offended by you, are also not taking responsibility to bring healing to the situation themselves. If they're putting all the onus on you, like, you need to repair this, you need to heal this. No, people can't always do that for us. And people that have agency and autonomy are people that do that healing themselves. That said, if you're the person that is caught, hurt, and harmed, you absolutely do need to make amends by being and doing better as well. Your job is not to heal that person, and you can bring healing into their life when you be and do better in the world. Because when you show that you are committed to doing and being better, that brings that person a sense of calm and peace and healing, that you genuinely care about them and genuinely are investing the time, energy, commitment, and resources to the friendship in the way that you are showing up. The third one, which is linked to the second one, is someone that does not own their shitty behavior. So someone that immediately, when there is dysfunction or a disagreement, someone that immediately reacts to that by dumping their list of 101 million gazillion things, of all the shitty things that you have done that they apparently have not spoken about, on you. So this is someone that goes in defense mode and is seeking to discredit your claim of how they have hurt, offended, or harmed you by bringing up every single little incy-wincy, teeny little tiny thing that you have done in the past that they didn't bring up. Now, that's on them to have brought that up. That's on them to have brought that up. And I would put a little asterisk there to say, provided you have provided a safe space and environment and the friendship has felt safe in order for that person to come to you and to talk about that. So that's probably also another element, another level to that conversation. And also, that is not an emotionally intelligent and mature way to handle a disagreement, is to counteract a claim of this is what I did to create hurt and harm to you, by I am going to list all the shitty things about you. I'm going to list all the shitty things that you have done. I'm going to list all the shitty things that I have been keeping a list and an inventory on in case this moment arrived, or which it has, and I'm pulling out that inventory and spelling it out to you. That is not an emotional intelligent way to deal with it. And if a person has not brought that up because they have not felt safe in the friendship in order to bring that up, raise it up, and discuss that with the two of you together, then that's another conversation that needs to be had. And I think in a healthy friendship, though, provided the markers for a healthy friendship are there, A great friend, an amazing friend, is someone that would come to you with grievances and complaints and disagreements or offenses, or if they were hurt or harmed by something that you did or said, they are people that would bring it up. Maybe they would bring it up immediately, maybe they would bring it up the next day, but they would not be silent about it. They would, if they felt secure and safe within themselves and within the friendship, they would bring it up. I also put another asterisk on the other side. So one asterisk on one side, another asterisk on the other side, to say that sometimes people talk about in relationships and friendships about not feeling safe, when it's actually not about the relationship. It's actually people don't feel safe in their own body. They don't feel safe because there's a trauma response. So every time I say to someone that I disagree with them or I don't like what they said and done, it's actually got not to do with the other person. It's actually got to do with them, with past relationships, where in the past, when they have said, I don't agree with this, I don't like this, they have faced consequences that have traumatized them, and that trauma is still living in their body. And so it becomes a learned habit where when we have situation, we come against a situation or another relationship where that person could be the sweetest pie in the shop, the sweetest thing out there, and really create that feeling in that environment of safety, but we don't show up, right, in that friendship and talk about things that we are not happy with, or talk about things that they've said or done that we disagree with, that has offended us, or that has really hurt our feelings. And that's not got to do about them. It's actually got to do with us, because we haven't created safety, a feeling of safety in our own bodies. We haven't created healing. When there's healing, there's safety. There cannot be safety without healing, and there cannot be healing without safety in our bodies as well. So we need to be really, really mindful of that. So the two asterisks that we need to be mindful of. So to wrap up today's session, today's video, the 3 traits to look out for is when someone says to you, oh, I haven't heard from you for a while. What's been going on? Well, bitch, you ain't, reached out to me. And really an emotionally intelligent person would say, I'm so sorry, I haven't reached out to you. How have you been? The second thing to look out for is someone that, when they are hurt and offended, keep that in lockdown, keep that in storage, ready to pull it out when need be. And this is also someone that is not really committed to changing and doing better the next day as well. The third thing to really look out for is someone that really owns their behavior. So linked to the second one, someone that really owns their behavior and is absolutely committed to doing and being better in the friendship as well. This does not mean that they bring out the list of all the things they've been taking stock and inventory, ready for this moment when they get to bring it out. This is not someone that seeks to discredit what you are bringing to the table, a complaint or a grievance towards the other person, well, that could be you. In a healthy friendship dynamic, a person that experienced a friend coming to them with a complaint and grievance is someone that would not bring out the inventory list that they've done on the other person unknowingly and involuntarily. This is someone that would own their shitty behavior and commit through action to being and doing better. So if we were to flip those 3 things, what do you need to look out for? We need to look at we need to look for a dynamic where people own not just the good parts of them, but also the really, really shitty parts of who they are and their behavior, and really commit through action to being and doing better. Words are not enough. They commit to action and they show up immediately, not waiting for tomorrow, but they show up immediately, and the next day and the next day and the next day. They don't go backwards, they keep going forwards, incremental progress to bettering themselves and bettering the friendship, because they really value you in the friendship. The second thing to really look out for is you want to see someone that, when they're hurt and offended, they acknowledge their part to play in creating healing. And if they're the person that is caught hurt and harm, they own that 100% as well. And they're not looking to bring up an inventory list in order to discredit the complaint or the grievance put against against them as well. They're not going to go into the shame spiral. They take ownership over it. They don't bring out the inventory list. They stay in the present moment. And the last thing to look out for in a healthy friendship dynamic is someone that, if you haven't been in contact for a while, owns that. They're not putting that blame on you. They're realizing their part to play in it as well and saying, hey, I'm so sorry I haven't reached out to you in a while. How are you? And how have you been? And if it is true that you haven't heard from that person or that person hasn't heard from you, you will speak up and you will share why that is so. So I hope today's video was really helpful. Please, get behind and support your Black, Indigenous, people of color content creators and thought leaders. We need a seat at the table because the world is fucking burning right now. And we need different perspectives on how to have healthy relationships, how to transform life, and how to transform our business for the betterment of the world and the betterment of each other and the betterment of the planet too. Please subscribe to this channel, give this channel a thumbs up, and also share this video with one person that you think would really benefit from it as well. Much love to you. If no one hasn't said to you today, as Mel Robbins ends with all of her videos, which I absolutely love, so I'm going to take that on myself, which is, if no one has said to you this to you today, I want to tell you that I love you and I'm really, really proud of you. And I want to encourage you to keep going on whatever your goal or dream is. And I want to say that I absolutely believe in you and your capacity to be and do better in the world, towards others and towards the planet as well. Much love, take care, and see you next week.